Hello and welcome to Dialogue. It is just 1 year until 2022 Beijing Winter Olympic Games, and sports on the ice and snow are a growing lifestyle choice for Chinese during wintertime. What is making winter sports popular in China, and how is the country getting ready to host the 2022 Games? Today, I'm very glad to be joined by Olympic champion Yang, who is the chairperson of the Athlete Commission of the 2022 Beijing Olympic Winter Games Organizing Committee. Hi, Yang. And Fabio Rice, a consultant in the winter sports and outdoor industry. And that's our topic. I'm Zhou Yue. We know that China has been working hard on the facilities and organization since the success of the bid for the 2022 Winter Olympics. So Yang, how has the preparation been going so far?
I should say everything on schedule as planned. Of course, the coronavirus impact actually impact all the plan, but we quickly adjust all the planning, and but there is still something. For example, the testing events, and we are rescheduling all the testing events, and let's see if that's going to be on schedule. But we also have a plan B, which is even there's not international events, we may have some other events to test the venue or the operation of the competition of the games.
As you said,
so far I think everything is, yeah.
There are challenges because of COVID, and a lot of people are saying if the Summer Games in 2021 in Tokyo is in question, what about the Winter Games next year? Is there a possibility that the Beijing Winter Olympics will be postponed or rescheduled?
To myself, it's not official, but to myself, I have I'm very confident we're gonna host the games. Even under this coronavirus pandemic. And as you know, China is doing a very good job with control the situation, and we're also planning to organize the games in this environment. So I have very much confidence we can do that.
And Fabio, winter sports, of course, is not exactly the same as some summer games events, but does it make it more or less challenging to organize winter sports games in the time of COVID, I mean?
It's probably even more challenging than in usual, than other sports, because as you know, winter sports are very much dependent on the weather, on temperatures, on a lot of outside environmental issues. And of course, we can see it this year in many countries. Winter sports have been limited, or even, ski stations in the Alps have been closed down totally, because apparently there is a perception of risk connected to winter sports. But nevertheless, as we can see, Chinese results continue to operate, and I think there is definitely a way to operate normally or close to normally by taking the right precautions. So I'm confident.
As you said, many skiing and skating facilities have been restricted because of COVID. Does it have effects on the training of the athletes, the professional athletes around the world? Fabio?
No, from what I know, most professional athletes, now it's competition time, so people are, the athletes are training and competing quite normally. Of course, there are lots of particular precautions taken, bubbles are created, in a couple of days, the World Downhill, Alpine Ski Championships will take place in Italy. And it was an event which was also rumored maybe to be postponed or cancelled. But in the end, it was decided to be held as usual. So I think the authorities and the relevant sports authorities also, they know what they're doing and they know how to prevent the virus from spreading.
And Yang, I know that you are in charge of the athletes commission.
Yes.
How are the Chinese athletes preparing? Are they also training in a bubble-like situation? What is it like?
Okay, before I answer your question, I was follow up with Fabio about the ice sports in the world. And last week in Europe, I have seen the news that they already have European championships in short track speed skating and the speed skating as well. So the competition went very well. I'm very happy to see that. That means all the athletes are preparing and in a good condition for the games in China. And about your question on the Chinese athlete, I know they are in the training center and they are very well protected away from the coronavirus, and even the training venue, the training center as well. So, but of course, because there's not much events going on, which is also going to affect their all the how do I say, the conditions.
Yeah.
But as we all know, we have to work on that.
Yeah, I know that the Tokyo Olympic Games have been testing the idea whether to vaccinate all the athletes joining the games, but they decided maybe it's not an option. What about Beijing Winter Olympics? Will vaccination on the table? What kind of protections will be provided for the athletes joining the Beijing Games?
I haven't seen the final decision yet, but I have seen the International Olympic Committee is encouraging athletes to take the vaccination to come to the games, to protect themselves, also protect from others as well.
And have you talked to your athletes, Yang? How enthusiastic are they to joining the Winter Olympics in Beijing? Because of course it's their home turf, but on the other hand, it's a special one because of COVID.
Of course, it's a very unique opportunity, and for athletes, that's our dream. To compete in the Olympics, and especially in the homeland country. But of course, there's challenges like the COVID-19. But they have the confidence. They know they have been protected from the virus. But they also know they are very excited, and then they also don't want to lose the opportunities. So they're working very hard.
I'd like to talk a little bit about winter sports in general. Fabio, I know that during an interview, you've been managing actually a ski resort in Chongli for years. That is well before Chongli became such a well-known ski resort now. How do you feel about the expansion of winter sport, especially here in China?
I think it's really taking on, and it's encouraging to see that more and more people are talking about winter sports. They are interested, and many people also start practicing it. I mean, in my case, I am especially concerned about snow sports, especially skiing, which is probably the winter sports which is kind of more connected to tourism and to a real industry, because you have really big resort destinations which are much more than only a place to ski. And I think that China is, more and more resorts are being built. The resorts are getting bigger and more sophisticated with the time, and people are really enthusiastic about joining in and having fun. It's more and more becoming what it should be, which means a way of life and a way of really having fun with the whole family and spending some really quality time together. Yeah,
so Yang, when you took up the winter sport, when you were younger, should I say, did you see this coming, that so many Chinese are picking up winter sports, skiing and snowing as their hobby and lifestyle choices? Why is it happening?
If you look at the history of sports in China, sports has played different roles in different time or different phase of development of China. And my time, I was picked, I was selected as talent to do sports. And nowadays, sports become everybody's choice, the lifestyles. So it's a very different time. But I should say I'm very excited for what's happening now. And I'm also very excited to the future. It's a Winter Games, Winter Olympics in China is opportunity for Chinese to learn about winter sports, to understand about sports. But I think for more people participate and enjoy the sports, it's after the games.
But do you see that a larger fan base of winter sports necessarily guarantee the better performance of professional athletes because we have more choices?
Definitely. When the pool become bigger, it's definitely you can have more choices to find out the talented. And also there is more, for example, before it's only the training center can have the ability to train or to help the elite athletes. But now you can find not only in a professional training center, but you also can find the sports in school system, and you also can find sports in the society, the commercial clubs. So there's many ways to help the kids, no matter where what purpose you come from.
In terms of winning medals, it seems that the Chinese athletes are doing much better on ice, than on snow. What is the reason? Is it because there are more facilities or more interest in ice sport than snow sport?
Well, you know, China has been developing in the last 30 or 40 years. And winter sports is a very expensive sports. And also, you know, the facility depend on, you know, facilities and everything. So ice sports, to my understanding, is much easier to build up. So so we are early to build up the programs for ice sports. And recent years we start to have snow sports. I can give you an example. Before Pyeongchang 2018 games, there's 1/3 of sports, mostly our snow sports, are not even exist in China.
Okay.
So this is a great opportunity to have whole sports because of the 2022 games in China.
And certainly the number of medals Chinese athletes will get is what the public is crazy about. What sports do you see that there will be breakthroughs for Chinese athletes? There will be progress made. Can you make a prediction, Yang?
For sports, you never ask for a prediction.
I know, it's very hard and risky.
That's the excitement of sports. But I'm very happy to see last couple of years how Chinese winter sports are really growing. And Gu Ailing, who is the champion for from last year, the Youth Olympic Winter Games, and now she won the X Games. So which is we even have a more, how do I say, more expectation on the snow sports to have a very good result for 2022. And of course, our traditional sports, short track, my sports, and also figure skating and the freestyle ski. So those are sports where I'm thinking we may have some opportunities.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to give pressure to the athlete. The only thing I want to say to athlete, just try your best.
Yeah.
Enjoy the games.
Yeah, yeah, make their best performances and enjoy the game, and let the audience also enjoy their play. I know you yourself has been involved
Definitely.
from top athletes, the first Winter Olympic gold medalist, and being now IOC official and national committee of the political advisory body. It seems you have a track record that is gold standard for an athlete. How do you see yourself evolve professionally?
Actually, no matter what's different role of our title on my head, I always, everything, what I do is always sports. And, but what I have learned is from different roles, you can see different value of sports. And before when I was an athlete, the sports is about performance. And then I become the officials, then you learn sports, it has more meaningful, a much bigger meaning. For example, the sports impact in the society, the sports impact on the health of people, the sports Olympicism, Olympic value, how can help in the education of the kids. So there's many values around the sports, which is I'm very passionate about. Of course, on the political advisory board, I can really have the voice to promote sports even more in China. So which is I'm very lucky to have those opportunities.
And I know that you've inspired a lot of people. And there is another good example. I know there's going to be a movie about you coming out, Breaking Through. So what can you tell about that movie? And what do you expect that movie can do to the audience? Okay.
I just think it's one way to promote sports, and it's through a story. I haven't seen the details of the story yet, but hopefully the people, especially for the young kids.
So you are not deeply involved in the production of the film? Is that it?
I gave some feedback, but because they haven't been changing the description yet, I haven't seen the final one yet. Yeah.
But definitely,
it is exciting. It is exciting.
Definitely, you want more Chinese people to go to the movie theater to see how you succeeded and probably follow your example.
I'm a little shy about this.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on this. I know that you're a busy person. I have to let you go, but I hope the Winter Games will be a great success as yours. Thank you. And we've been talking about winter sport and 2022 Beijing Olympic Games. We'll take a short break and be right back. And you're now watching Dialogue, and we're talking about winter sports and the 2022 Beijing Olympic Games. Fabio, probably Yang served the purpose because before her, not a lot of people knew winter sport or winter sport athlete here in China. So how can somebody like her change people's perception about ski and snow and skating?
I think, I mean, it's the role model which comes into play. I mean, I think she's a very, not only a successful athlete, but also a successful person, so she can inspire a lot of people. And definitely, I think young people and the media, I mean, the society in general, they will pay attention to sports when athletes they can identify with are successful.
Yeah.
Which means that I mean, they must come from, you know, possibly they are compatriots, possibly they can rely to because maybe they speak the same language, and so on. So these are things which make a role model, and I think Yang was a very excellent role model at her time, and we are waiting, yeah, for new role models also in other sports disciplines.
And have you sensed any differences of people practicing winter sport in different parts of the world? For example, is it the same lifestyle choices, or just exercising here in China and in Europe?
No, I think it is different, but probably the difference comes also, it's not only a geographical or cultural difference, it's also because of the time. I remember, I mean, when I grew up in Europe, people who were living in the mountains, they all were skiers. I mean, there was no option. I mean, everybody was skiing.
It is so natural. It's not
Yes.
an option. They have to learn how to ski, right?
Exactly, exactly. It was part of, you know, in winter you needed to do some exercise, and what were you doing? Everybody was skiing, so you were skiing too. It just was natural. While nowadays, I see it also in China, I mean, people who go, for example, skiing, they tend to come from the big cities, from Beijing, from Shanghai, and so on. So many locals actually do not really practice any winter sports. It's probably, yeah, it's probably because it's pretty expensive. That's one issue. But it's, yeah, I think it's also the perception of sports which is changing nowadays. I mean, people
Yeah, that's why I asked this, because as you said, those Chinese who choose to join in the skiing and skating games, or should I say fun for that, is actually doing it because it is a lifestyle, because they can afford to, and because they enjoy the experience.
Yeah,
and
this is
with increasingly bigger number of urban middle class, that will be a trend.
Yes, yes. This is especially true, I think, for skiing, because like ice skating, for example, it could be practiced with much more ease and less expense. It can be practiced, I mean, it used to be very popular. I remember when I was in Beijing for the first time in the 80s, lots of people were ice skating in winter on icy, on frozen surfaces, lakes, parks, and so on. So it's something which doesn't need a big investment, but skiing is different because you need to buy expensive equipment, you need to travel to somewhere in the mountain, you can't just do it next door or in a park somewhere. So, I mean, the whole cost is much, much higher. And this is why, but this is true also in other countries, including in Europe. I mean, skiing is considered to be by many people a sport for the elite, for the rich people, and not everybody can afford it.
Yeah, but I have also some friends and colleagues who've been doing skiing, and it seems they ski more, they're more addicted to it, and they want to go to different ski resorts to try different experiences. I'm not sure, why is it so attractive for them to try new heights and new places and new challenges?
This is where the lifestyle comes into play, or what I call, it's a tourist product in the end. I mean, you know, people, they want to travel, they want to see different places, they want to experience different places.
Okay.
And they want to ski and experience different places at the same time. So maybe they would like to go to Switzerland for a ski and to have some Swiss food and whatever. and maybe then they decide to go to Japan because it's a different kind of experience, and then maybe to Austria, to Italy, to France. I mean, there are so many places in the world where skiing is done in different ways. It's not only about the sports, it's much more about what comes with it, which means it's a travel to a destination, it's staying there, it's experiencing local life and traditions, cuisine.
Yeah.
It's seeing different mountains, skiing on different snow. You know, it can be completely different experience.
Wow, it does
skiing
sound
in North America.
It does sound very exhilarating and appealing. Talking about the increasing popularity of winter sport, when more people here in China not only appreciate the sport but also do the sport, will it make a lot of difference for the Winter Games? Because more people not only know the rules, they actually tried it.
Definitely, definitely. I think the growth of sportive disciplines is something which is a give and take game, which means you need, on one hand, you like to watch it because maybe your home athlete gets a medal, because whatever. But at the same time, if you practice it, you know what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know what the athlete is doing, what his effort is taking, and what what is to appreciate about what he's actually doing, the effort he's doing. So it's it's really you have to practice it to understand it fully, and you have to really watch it and get excited about it to have more motivation to practice it.
And I know that you run a resort in Chongli, and you know that there will be a lot of activities there next year. So what is your expectation of the 2022 Winter Games here?
I hope that everything is going to go on schedule. But I believe that there is the possibility and the ability and the willingness from all sides to have some really exciting games going on. I mean, lots of effort has been done by the Chinese authorities to complete everything on schedule. And Chongli has been transformed into a very nice destination, not only for winter sports but also for summer activities. Now with the new expressway and especially the high-speed train, it takes less than an hour from Beijing to reach it. So I mean, all these infrastructural works have been really an excellent boon for the development of Chongli. So we really hope that the games are going to be held as expected and as planned, and I think after the games we will really see the effects on the normal people. Yeah, exactly,
and we will know what legacies the games will leave us. Thank you very much, Fabio. And you've been watching Dialogue here on CGTN. I'm Zhou Yu in Beijing. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.